Good afternoon and welcome to this second appointment with the FIFForum 2025. Today we are going to talk about Sri Lankan community in Fribourg, and just before to start I would like to remind you that this event could be filmed, and also please at the end bring back the headphones. What else? I hope you will enjoy. I'm very happy to see you here with me, and yeah, I think that's it. For now, I'm gonna introduce Mathy Sommer, which is gonna who is gonna take care of the moderation for today, and I hope you will have an amazing moment with us. Thank you. Pardon, sorry. Sorry, first of all, the artistic director of the FIFF, Thierry Jobin.
Thank you. It's the emotion. We can applaud Valentina because she worked a lot on this afternoon. You know, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and especially we felt that it was a lot of work because basically the community from Sri Lanka was waiting for this moment in a way for, it seems, a long time to say we are among you here in Fribourg, we are living here. This section, New Territory, was created when I came in Fribourg because basically the idea was, okay, Fribourg Film Festival is interested by cinema coming from very far, and very far meaning the south. But when you want to be interested in another culture, you should first be interested in the smell of cook in your old building. I'm living in a huge building in Beaumont, and sometimes I can smell good smells that I don't know, but as I am Swiss, I'm shy, and it would never happen that I ring and say, oh, the smell of your cooking is so good. Please let me know from where you come from. So I invented this section, New Territory, to be able to discover some communities, some cultural differences that we have here, and that we don't hear a lot about when we live in Switzerland because we are so discreet. We don't want to disturb people. For sure, this section is always bringing a lot of emotions. I remember last year for North Macedonia, somebody came and said, it's the first time that I have the opportunity to show my culture to my friends. But I should say that in 14 years now, because the first one was in 2012, I never had such an enthusiasm from a community. You know, this community from Sri Lanka was just writing to us, and especially to Fabienne Ménétré, for example, asking to do so many things like music, dance. We want to make a debate. We want to talk about us and explain, etc. I think that this year, with this section, it's something happening that I want for a festival. Otherwise, a festival is completely useless. Is being a useful festival. So I let you the talk, and I'm sure that you will enjoy and maybe come back just later to hear directors, filmmakers talking about how we tell the story of this country, of your country, because I see that many people are coming from Sri Lanka. Thank you. Oh, you have it.
Yes. Thank you.
It's for him.
Thank you, Thierry, for coming and presenting everything. And thank you to the team as well. And FIFF, welcome. I would like to welcome you, all of you. Thank you for being here today. And as we said as well, that you have in French the translation. So please make sure to put the headset. And if you have any questions, you just raise your hand, that they will kind of connect you with the headset if it doesn't work. The question and answers will be at the end. So once we have done our round table, you will have 15 minutes at the end for all your question and answers. So keep them in your head. And so I take this opportunity as well to thank everyone. Thank you to again back to Tiri because of the Sri Lankan community. And I would like to thank as well Fabienne and Valentina, all the team for the hard work they have done. Without them, we would have not been here actually. And as well to Suresh and Terral and Premraj is there. They have been as well supporting a lot during this event for all the dances, everything we had, and all the music events we had last week. So I would like to thank them as well for all your hard work, actually. Yeah. And so now let's begin. So time flies. So we have an hour and a half. So we have to go back to 90, if possible, because it started already. So thank you so much for being here today, and it's an honor to welcome you. This special event, New Territory Sri Lanka, as Thierry said, it's a section of Fribourg International Film Festival. So my name is Mathy Sommer. Before getting married is Vikramasingam. Like my uncle and my auntie, they are here. I'm really glad because thanks to them as well, we are here in Switzerland. So I really want to thank my uncle. And so I arrived in 1992 in Switzerland. So I have been here for past 33 years. Recrutement familial. My father arrived in 83, and then we all arrived in 92 as Recrutement familial. So I'm the founder of this Moxymentum. It's a recruitment agency based in Fribourg here. Prior to this, I have been working in human resources for many years. As you know, I am Sri Lankan Tamil. And however, my goal is not Sri Lankan Tamil. We want to call everyone as Sri Lanka. And not like Sinhalese Tamil. We don't want to separate that. Before we begin our discussion, allow me to briefly introduce the context today. Many of you know already, Sri Lanka, it's a small but culturally rich island in South Asia, located just south of India. It has been several ethnic, religious community, including Sinhalese, mostly Buddhist, Tamil, mostly Hindus, as well as Muslims and Christian minorities. The country has two official languages, Sinhala and Tamil. However, English is widely spoken in education and as well in the government. Unfortunately, Sri Lanka experienced long and painful civil war since 1983 until 2009, which deeply impacted many Sri Lankan Tamils, estimated around 100,000 deaths. There were around 60,000 Tamil, 60 to 80. It's difficult to count because statistically, as we have Swiss passport, this doesn't count in statistics. But we could around say 60 to 80,000 Tamils in Switzerland, and around, it's as well difficult to say as well, we couldn't find 3 to 5,000 Sinhalese in Switzerland. And many arrived as a refugee, as well as children of those refugees. In Fribourg alone, we estimate around 3,000 Tamils, part of the community. So it could be your neighbors, everyone. So there are many Sri Lankan Tamils as well. Today, we aim to share the stories, the journey from Sri Lanka to Switzerland, the challenges of integration, how cultural identity is maintained while building a new life here. This is not a political debate. Our goal is to foster the understanding, encouragement, dialogue, and celebrate the resilience and the richness of our community. Thank you again to being with us. So let's start with the panelists. If Suresh, if you can just introduce yourself.
Hello. Yes, hello. First of all, I welcome you all here and thanking you all and thanking to FIFF also to give us this opportunity to present our community and discuss about the situation about our people also. And I am glad to meet you on this occasion. My name is Suresh Yogarajah, I am living here more than 30 years, and I am married, and I have 3 children, and I am so interested to working for the community and social work, and also I am happy to live in Switzerland with different ethnicities, with equal rights. This is a great thing I feel here. It's a good example for Sri Lanka in the future. We can develop our country with a good hope.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. And Terral?
Hello. Yep. Good afternoon, and you are very welcome. My name is Terral Abeysingha. I'm also from Sri Lanka, but I have to explain a little bit. She's worried about the time, but I have to explain it. So I'm a Sinhalese. In Sri Lanka, we are the majority group, ethnic group in Sri Lanka, but in here, we are the minority. But I had to flee the country because of the war, but as a Sinhalese, I fought for Tamils' rights and the reconciliation between Sinhalese and Tamils, especially asking from their Tamils' political and cultural rights. Because of that, I had to flee the country. I fled the country in 2008. I couldn't find a place because government, state tried to catch me because of my activism as a journalist and activist against the war. Then after, I had to fled the country without any plan because I had to escape. As soon as I could, I went to Philippines, then after Oman, then after Singapore, then after Nepal, again to Singapore. Then I got the visa to enter to Switzerland. I came to Switzerland in 2010, 1st of January. As soon as I came to Fribourg, since then I have been living here. In 2011, I could take my family, my wife and my son. Now he is 19 years old. So this is my story. Yes.
We will continue with that as well, with your story. Thank you. So it's like this, as you can see, there are Tamils and Sinhalese together in the round table in order to discuss that. And I give the hand to Mirna.
Hello everyone, thank you for being here. I'm Mirna Kanapathipillai. The second generation of the Tamil community in Fribourg. And I'm a mom of a 4-year-old daughter and working. And here I am to represent the Tamil community and what my experience I can share with you. And that's it.
Thank you, Mirna. I just would like to highlight that Mirna, she is the first baby born here as a Sri Lankan Tamil in Fribourg. It's 1980s or something? 89?
89.
I said before 86 and she was looking at me. Oh, sorry, 89. And first baby, and she was in the La Liberté. And so Mirna has done her bachelor studies here, and Terral is the journalist, and Suresh as well. He is like really working as well, and the secretary for the forum Fribourg, actually for the Sri Lankan community here. Now I would like to discuss with you a bit more to Arianna.
Yeah, hello everyone, and thank you for being here. So I'm Arianna Ostini, and I'm a master's student at the University of Fribourg. And as you can tell, my mother tongue is Italian because I was born and raised in Ticino. And I'm gonna say really 2 things about my master thesis. That's why I'm here. I've decided to do my master thesis on the Tamil diaspora in Switzerland for many reasons. But the main reason was Suresh that contacted the university for talking to find somebody that could be interested in study the Tamil diaspora in Fribourg. So when I heard about this opportunity, I volunteered immediately because I feel like this is a topic that is not talking about enough. And even if I wasn't really I didn't have a wide knowledge about this topic, I started immediately to inform myself, and I realized that this topic lies at the intersection of many other topics that are really important for me and I think for the Swiss population, like migration to Switzerland, racism, also transnationalism. So I've decided that it could be a great opportunity for me and for also Suresh and the other people of the Sri Lankan Tamil community here in Fribourg to be the master thesis around this topic. And even if there's already various academic works that speak about Tamil community, Sri Lankan community in Switzerland, I think it's really important to give to these people the opportunity to speak by themselves. So my approach is gonna be an oral history approach. So my main sources are gonna be the interview that I'm doing with the Tamil community. And I wanted to say that it's really a gift for me and for also, I hope, other people to have the possibility to enter in their lives and in their life stories and their experience. So I think that it can be really enriching for me and hopefully for also the people that speak with me, they can feel heard, they can find a place where they can be visible, where they can speak about their story, their truth. And so this is gonna be a little bit my goal. So to talk about the migration path and integration path of the Tamil community here in Switzerland, and also to talk about identity recomposition with them.
That's true. So we'll move forward with the identity and everything later on. That's true. Thank you. And it's grateful. I mean, we are grateful to Arianna to really talk about this, and I'm looking forward. I know she has interviewed many people as well. My uncle, who has been one of the first Tamil, arrived in Fribourg, and so I'm looking forward to and thank you for that as well, Arianna.
Thank you.
I would like to ask Suresh, actually, to you. I know, Terral, you explained, how did you come to Switzerland? That people, they can understand how difficult was it for you to come to Switzerland?
Yes, I can say that's a good question. It is not my wish to come here as a trip or something. I don't want it really to come here. It is the country's situation pull out me from the country. It was with a very big, painful decision for me to leave my family there in dangerous situation, and we are a collective lifestyle community, Tamils. We are very related with the families and relatives. It was a very hard time for me to leave the country.
And how did you? When did you leave, and how was it?
Yeah, it was the 1987 during the Indian peacekeeping forces occupied north and east of the Sri Lanka, and my life were in very dangerous situation. That's why I have to leave the country. My families advise me, please go, otherwise we miss you. That's why I take the decision to come here, and I can say it was very painful and hard decision, I can say, because I am afraid sending off my family members and relatives. I couldn't think that after some years later, I cannot, how many people can I meet them again? That is the big, hard question for me. As I felt after later 5 years, my mother's passed away. Even I couldn't go there for the funeral, and I trapped here with my asylum seekers situation. I couldn't return to my country. Even now, I have the pain in my heart.
Sorry to hear that, Suresh. Actually, it's I know. I mean, if I can, I know you are a bit emotional at the moment. But is it so it's one of your main challenge, right? Just as when you are asylum seekers, the main challenge is like work permit. You didn't have the work permit, so you couldn't go and
Yes.
say goodbye to your mom.
Yes, it was very hard.
Okay. Yes, I think I will just jump to you, Mirna. How did
Yes.
not you? You were born
Yes,
here.
I
You
was
are
born
luckiest. So I was born in Sri Lanka, many of them. But how did you come?
Yes,
mean,
I
not
was
you.
born in Fribourg, so I can explain the experience of my parents. My father was also one of the first person who came in Switzerland in Fribourg in '83. So for him, it was he's still telling the stories like normal stories to my kid as well. So I can hear it every day that when he came in Switzerland, in Fribourg, many people didn't know where is Sri Lanka. Everyone was asking from where are you coming from? And he was telling Sri Lanka, and they were like, Sri Lanka, is it India? And they didn't know where it was in the geographic card. So at that time, like a Swiss family helped my father to get an apartment, to get a job, and also to explain to the Fribourg population where Sri Lanka is on the geographic card. So they put a cardboard in front of the University of Fribourg, Miséricorde. And they put just a how to say like blackboard, yeah. And they were just explaining this is Sri Lanka, just under the India, and he's coming from this country, and explaining that he's coming because of the war and everything. And that's how he was explaining me to me, and this is the challenge he faced. And when my mom came in '88, it was more difficult to find even another apartment, because before he was living with your father. Yeah. And therefore that time also nobody wanted to give us a guarantee sign, everything. So this was also a fight, and this was the biggest challenge they faced. And then I was born in '89, and I grew up with two identity. Voilà. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. That's true. I mean, my father and Mirna's father, they have been living together, and as well, they know very well as well Suresh, because he arrived in '87. So Suresh was like kind of son for my father. That was a nice recruitment, and there were not that many Sri Lankans in '83, right? '83 to '85. Most of the Sri Lankans came after '92. So that's like a small minority. So when you don't have so many Sri Lankans, you can, imagine their biggest challenges, right? Except from the language barrier. Just wanted to explain you quickly, that about our languages, Sinhalese and Tamil. Because Tamil has 247 alphabet, like you have in ABCD 26, we have 247 alphabet, and Sinhalese has 52 alphabet. It's quite challenging for Sri Lankans to switch to learn French and German after growing up with just a different script and sound. We write differently, and sounds as well. Tamil is derived from Dravidian language family. It's one of the oldest language family in the world, and it has rich history, literature history, and spoken as well in Tamil Nadu, which is southern part of India. Sinhalese comes from Indo-Aryan language family. It's a branch of the larger Indo-European family. So the complexity of the language, that's therefore, we can't be, perfectly in other languages, because already our language is so complex. And Suresh, you talked about the work permit barrier. Is there anything you would like to add as well? Is there any challenges except?
Yes, I can say at the time in 1991 I came here. It was very difficult as asylum seekers. I felt that we didn't bring any evidence. That's mean my life was in dangerous, or court orders or arresting orders I didn't bring with me, because in a war, civil war, every younger generation at that time was in dangerous. So I felt my country and came here. And just as a government, Swiss government, they need evidence. So I can understand that, but I couldn't bring anything and submit their demands. But that's why they issue a normal permit N. That is not a value permit, resident permit to find a job or apartments here. That's the very big challenge for Tamils who came from Sri Lanka, and to find a job and apartment. During 10 years, in our teenage years, we couldn't start my life here because I cannot invest some money to learn and develop my language, because I don't know what happened the next day. Because with this permit, it was uncertain life. Yes, that was a big challenge. Many of my friends also feel like that. And at that time, I met a friend near the city, and he told, okay, yes, you can find a job if you study well the language. In 1 year, you can get a job. I have a good chance. And he told one of your friend who is working as a manager in McDonald's, and you can go and ask. Yes, when I met him, he was my family friend in Sri Lanka. Okay, he say, okay, you after 3 months, I could find a job in McDonald's. That was a good luck for me. And finding apartment, it was very difficult with the permit. Yes.
Yeah, it's true. There were many challenges, and as well. So, Terral, we know as well each other for a couple of years now. And so, what would you say the challenges about regarding the cultural adjustment?
Yeah, when we as Suresh said, there are a lot of difficulties in day-to-day life, and also the biggest challenge. Yes, as Suresh said, someone can find a job, McDonald's or etc. etc. But the other challenge is the cultural adjustment in here, because we came from Asia, and Sri Lanka is a different culture. Many differences, not only the way we eat and way we wear. So if I eat fondue, it doesn't mean I know the culture, because culture is very vast subject. So, for example, our way of living, way of life is communitary life, not the individual. In Europe, especially in Switzerland, it's very strong individualism. So it's very hard to adjust with the individualism. Just I can say, okay, I am. Everyone has an individual character, but without my I, there is no we. Without we, there is no I. That is our way of living concept. The communitarism, it's make very link with the neighbors and with the extended family. For example, if someone die, it's not someone died in my family. For example, my mother died in 2001. As soon as we know, okay, we announce our neighbors, okay, she was passed away, then everyone take their responsibility for our family, because in our culture we keep the body for minimum 2 days at home, and there are plenty of rituals. So they take the responsibility to take care of this family, and there are a lot of religious things. They organize everything because when we keep the body the 2 days, whole night we have to stay there. The neighbors come. We have to provide the food, even though the people who belongs to the dead person, they should not cook because neighbors do it. But in here, it's very different. I don't say it's a good or bad. It's something else. I don't judge anything, but the different of the culture. So then I feel very alone within the society because of this cultural difference. It is not an easy thing to switch. Okay, now I'm wearing the winter clothes for the winter. That is not the way we engage our way of thinking, our soul, our feelings. The culture is not just to have a food or ritual things. It's a way of thinking also, how we related with others. So it's very difficult. It's a very strong barrier until today. Then we have a identity crisis. Who am I?
So coming back to the identity crisis, thank you for what you said. It is, this funeral or the birth or someone is sick. It's different in Sri Lanka or India in the collectivism culture. Let's say like here with my neighbors, when they are sick, I bring them food and they are surprised. Like European neighbors, they're like, oh, that's great. I never get food like this. Where it's like, oh, even though I have been living here for 33 years, you still have, without knowing, this identity, this culture, and you just, provide to others. And the identical crisis, Arianna, I will, like what you touched, I would like to kind of go further with your studies on that.
Yeah. So during my interview, I have met many people from the first and the second generation, and both of the generation has to live a sort of identity crisis, because as is explained, like for the first generation can be difficult to adapt to the social norms, to the culture, to the individualism. Also there's the language barrier, the change of culture, everything. But also the second generation, sometimes they feel like they are between two worlds. The domestic inside the house, they have a culture, they have a way of living, but outside it's different. So there's a big difference between these two worlds that sometimes create the challenges for the person, because they ask themselves, who am I? Am I Sri Lankan? Am I Tamil? Am I Swiss? How much I am Sri Lanka? How much I am Swiss? What type of values do I want to adopt? Do I want to adopt Sri Lankan Tamil values? Do I want to adopt Swiss values? Which one? Why? So I met a lot of people that they were struggling a bit, even if they were from the second generation, to really create their own identity. And to do that, for example, in Ticino, there's the Tamil Youth Organization, where the second generation, the young people, they are very active in creating cultural events, or events that pass the culture to the next generation. And I feel like for them it's a really helpful way to discover their story, discover their identity, and to stay attached to the roots of their identity and their culture. So yeah, the question of the identity is really complex, and it's really interesting to see how each one live this in a different way. But at the same time, when I talk to people, I understand that they feel connected by the fact that they are living in the same community. And this community is not only practical, physical community, but is more like a wider type of community. They feel to belong to a community, and then a common history, a common identity, and this helps them to find themselves.
I mean, like you did many interviews, so you see that there is, for people even like second generation, like Mirna, or even third generations, they do have this identical crisis, which was touched by Terral. So, Mirna, as you were born here, are you Sri Lankan or Tamil now?
I'm Sri Lankan. My roots are Sri Lankan, but I'm well integrated in Switzerland, and I took when I was a kid. I was the only one at school who was Sri Lankan, and it was really hard to define me and explain from where I come and from which language I'm speaking, everything. And my parents, when I go home, I'm fully in Tamil culture, so it was like I'm living like two identity, like two Mirna was living for a while, like for a few years, and with the time, like when I was teenager, that time I was like, okay, now I have to find out the root cause of the history of my Sri Lanka, why there was the civil war and everything, and I lived with this civil war with the family, so I grew up with this, and that time I defined me like I'm a Sri Lankan. I can introduce me as a Sri Lankan, but I'm well integrated in Switzerland, and I value the good values of Sri Lanka, Swiss values, and I take also the good values of Sri Lankan culture. So this is for me, it's like taking the good values of both culture and living with that, because I was fighting between two identity.
Thank you, Mina. Adapting to Swiss culture, actually, as well, while keeping your Sri Lankan root. It's like embracing the best of both worlds, right? You are in two legs. And it's a honor as well for our heritage, right? To fully engage while you with the new environment. And I just wanted to, we do have prepared, yes, you can see some of the questions. I do that, I will have to jump some of the questions. But Ariane, would you like to add with your studies, which is very interesting? Again, we are thankful for that. So what would be the biggest challenge? You talked about it. Is there anything that you would like to add regarding this integration challenges today?
If we talk about integration challenges, I think they are different between like the first and second generation, because the first generation, they came here, they had to learn a language when they were already quite old, we say, so it's more difficult to learn the language, and they had like some practical, also the community, they were very connected to like help each other to find a job, to find an apartment, and already still now they have some of the people of the first generation, they have some difficulties in the integration with the Swiss population, because they kept themselves a little bit like apart, because it wasn't easy for them for the cultural shock, the language barrier. And for the second generation, I feel like the integration has other type of challenges. It's more like they question their where do they belong, they ask themselves. And at the same time, both of the generation, they have to face some problems like racism, even if in Switzerland we tend to think that racism is not a big problem here, that is a problem that is in other spaces, other countries, or in the past. But even during the interview, I met a lot of people that they struggled because of the skin color, because of the stereotype that the Western society, the Swiss population has about like black people, brown people, or like Asiatic culture. So the racism is a big challenge, even if not everyone is like concerned, but also like in the workplace, in school, but also in the everyday life, there's still a lot of like racist incidents. And even us, like we don't understand that sometimes we have some unconscious bias. So when we are in the street, even if we don't do that on purpose, maybe we encounter another people that are from a different ethnicity, and maybe we react or we do something that is like is racist, we can say that, but it's not conscious. So I feel it's really important to give to the minorities here in Switzerland the space to express themselves about these type of problems, to understand their direct experience, and to do that we can recognize that we have still some problem about racism, racialization here in Switzerland, and if we actually give them visibility, we give them space and tools to speak about that, we can, as a population, as an institution, try to support them and to work against this problem to solve them.
It's what we are doing as well here and in everywhere, right? Thank you for the studies as well, Arianna. So it's like integration is just not about adapting, right? We talk about a lot of integration here. It's just not about adapting. It's also how Swiss society welcome and engage with the new communities. It's not only about Sri Lankan, there are a lot of other communities. So how Swiss culture adapt that. As you know, the two integration anyway is on two ways, right? From two sides. Terral, would you like to add something regarding as well this integration challenges?
Yeah, when we talk about the language, as you said, there are how many letters and all that, and also the grammar also. For example, in Sinhala, our language, there is no several past tense. There is no several future tense. Only one past, present, and future. You know that European language, all language has several past tense, several future tense, like that. So then it's like, for us, it's a mathematics, like that. It's very abstract. The language is a way we express our emotions, our ideas, all that. It should like a flow, not rationally think and calculate and do it. In English also, they have several past tense, everything, but in French, what do you call this, la, le. So it's where's the feminist part of this chair? Nothing. So for in our language, masculine and feminine is a human or animals, the living things. So it's very, it doesn't feel when we think and when we express something. There's a huge gap because of these articles and all that. We have to force ourselves to make it a proper grammar pattern. So it's a huge barrier, and also it's make us we can't express our own ideas. If someone, I know some people, they speak English very well. Their pronunciation, they know the grammar and all that, Sinhalese. But when they want to explain something, always they says, I couldn't say everything what I want to say. Because language is just not a technical thing. It's linked with our emotions and our mind. So it is not an easy to switch to the grammatically we can say, je peux parler un peu français, but it doesn't mean I say everything. But this question, I don't think anyone can find a solution. Because Swiss can't change the language as Sinhalese. Then Swiss people have to learn Sinhalese. Very dangerous and very difficult to learn it. So it's the second generation, maybe she can explain. For second generation, it could be easy. My son, I think, now he thinks in French.
Yeah.
So that's it.
That's true. For the second generation, like it is different. And again, they still mix with two languages as well, or three languages at home. But coming back to our Swiss here, as we are integration, let's do the Swiss integration support. So how do Swiss institutions support or hinder Sri Lankan integration? What would you say, Suresh?
Yes, when I compare before 30 years, now more improved the integration system, language providing by the government. That is a great thing, I think, because at that time I got a chance, only 3-month courses in Poya not the Poya Center, the Poya refugee camp. Free language courses. Just I learned 3 months course, and after I directly start my work there. And when I start my work, the McDonald's owner, she told me, if you know count until 20, it's enough for the beginning, because 20 chicken nuggets, it is the maximum count. Yes. And I bought English French book, and I study myself, and it was also easier, because at that time many of the Tamil people worked for McDonald's, and we can also support communicate in Tamil language. That was my experience. But language challenge, as Terral told, it was a very big challenge for the first generation, because our Tamil ancient language, it's a complicated grammatics, a different language family from European language family. So grammar and letters, everything is very different.
That's true. I mean, we did talk about a lot of these barriers, languages, but my question is like
Yes.
really Swiss integration, right?
Yes,
Now, except
yes.
the languages, but you know how did Swiss institution helped except
Yes.
the languages?
Mhm.
Because you touched
Yes, yes.
the point which is very important, Terral, which is really, it's true, it's difficult to express ourselves when it's not our mother tongue,
Yes.
but others,
Other facilities to integrate, yes.
how the Switzerland helped.
Just it's work good with the institution. Now they have more programs for the foreign people who immigrate to Switzerland, and the facilities are more easier now to integrate here the new migrants. I feel more better now.
Yeah.
And we have to thank to the Swiss government and Swiss people to welcome to the new migrants and integrate in their society. I am grateful to thanks and Integration Bureau. They develop many projects with the
Different communities.
communities. Yes.
That's true. I mean, Mirna, thank you for that. Would you like to add something regarding that?
Yes, I mean, we talked a lot about the challenges. Yes, the first generation, they focused on having a work, having earning money to send back to the family, to help the family. They were focusing on that. And then if we talk about the younger generation, like the second generation, third generation, they don't need to worry about the money or things. They need to focus on the career, on the professional way, and also we have talked about individualism and collectivism. And yes, our younger generation, like second generation, me, I'm when I told you I have two identity. Yes, I have two identity. When I go outside, I don't talk about my problems. But when I come home, it's always, if there is an issue, we talk all together and try to find a solution. And in this way, like in the second generation, is going is catching the values of European style, you know, like it being individual and having mental issues, like being depressed, and so the first generation they had many issues like depression, and so they talk inside their community, like they are talking to the Tamil community and or to the families, and so they keep every problems inside their family. And the second generation, they have to take this opportunity to open to the European Institute, to the Swiss Institute, ask help and everything, because In Switzerland, in Fribourg, there is so many institutes to help people, and even but the Tamil community, or the Sri Lankan community, they don't know or they don't want to go ask help. It's like a big challenge for them, and we need to get help, and we have to ask help and knock the door and tell, I'm not good, please help me. And the Swiss government and Swiss Institute, they are all here. They are to support. They are helping. I mean, we need to ask help to be supported, And this is how we have to integrate in this society, Until now, I know whenever we do some function or something or an event, the Tamil community, or we are doing a function, it's like only the Tamil people are coming. We don't do the publicity to our neighbors or to the Europeans, anything. Even at school, we don't talk about it because it's like maybe a shame. I don't know, but we don't talk about it. But now we are talking about it, and we are reaching to a point like we are here, and we are showing our culture, our where we are, how we came, and sharing our experiences. And this is really important to tell to the next generation to be open. I mean, to go and ask help. And I'm sure in Switzerland, not in 83, maybe there were no help, but in 2025, we have many institutes, and we don't know maybe, but we have to search for it.
Thank you for that. So it's like, thanks to Swiss government as well, that we have a good education system. And we have a language course, like you Suresh said as well, and the social support, and the good public health care. And as well, there is another thing as well, that Switzerland, they really support their religious tolerance, right? Not everywhere. So I don't know, like Suresh, you first to summarize that what you said, like second generation Sri Lankans as well, or other community, don't forget to go to the other institutions to ask for help, because we are becoming, by being there, more and more individualism. It's not bad, again, like you said, but somehow there is, in Switzerland, is the highest depression rate and as well the suicide rate. So I don't know, Terral, if you want to just quickly touch on that as well, because we have to protect the future.
Yeah, when we look at the statistics of the world statistics, Switzerland is one of the richest country, and it says one of the best country to live. But my big question, how this small country with a 9 point something million of population, how every day 3% commit suicide? Why? Where's the question? Why 25% of the population get depressed? Where's the question? Why elderly people after 65 years old, more than 30% of the population of elderly are alcoholic? Where's the question? When we count the wars in Sri Lanka or somewhere, when we count for how many deaths for the year, it's very similar to suicide here. Now there is a individual crisis. Crisis not only the between communities and all that, it can come through ourselves also. So we have to find out the solution. This all media, all technology couldn't give a solution to a problem, in a solution. It's depending on the community life to share. Human being, all animals, I don't know how elephants communicate each other, but they have their own communication. They share their life. I heard one thing that one monkeys in one region of Africa, when one monkey saw some danger, for example, I don't know what, example, a tiger, they make a noise differently. When they see a snake, they make a noise in a different way. Then all monkeys react against this. This is the nature of the human and the nature of the animals. So this individual is going beyond the limits. This is my conclusion, but I don't ask everyone to agree with me, but you have to think. The luxuries, the material thing, give us the peace, inner peace. Where's the question?
That's true, Terral. I mean, I could go with you for 3 hours discussing about that, right? About the individualism, the luxuries, the suicide rate, the depression. It is very profound. You are right as well. As conscious of time, if please keep your questions later on, and we could kind of ask about that as well. This that comes with somehow with the spirituality, right, at the end. So therefore, I'm kind of going either to Mirna or Suresh, whoever would like to talk about this burn, their temples, the.
Yes, I have, as a social worker, I have contact with many cantons and Tamil community. Good example, I can say, the House of Religion in Bern, Europa Platz. It's already 10 years before they built the House of Religion in Bern. It's a good example to the world how the old religion and different ethnic people can live together. It is a good example for Sri Lankan community also. We can take many of the good example from Swiss, such a things. It's I think in Fribourg also inter religious event sometimes it take place, and we also take part. There is also Mr. Reto. He's also here. It's a nice thing, I think, to.
Spirituality.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like I mean, I do take to House of Temple in Bern. You guys, if you don't know, it's just nearby the station in Bern, and it's really good. It's really beautiful and clean, and with many different god. I mean, Hinduism, like polytheism, like many different gods as well, and there are other gods as well. So it is interesting to visit to show the tradition and keep the religion as
Yes.
well.
Yeah, I can add that coming back to the integration, how it's an example, like in this temple, as there was one person who talked to the Swiss government that we were talking about the funeral, yeah, and how much our culture values this funeral, and therefore he talked about our culture, our values, how we treat people when they are dead, and how what we do with the ashes when they are buried, and therefore they accepted, like last year I think, they accepted to pour this ashes in one river, and this was one of the biggest event for us, in the community, that we even there is like my parents were thinking before, like, if we die here in Switzerland, what are you going to do with me? And yeah, now I can say I can treat you like in a traditional way, without doing any exception. Even your ashes can be poured in a river, And this is really a touching point, because we are opening our culture and values to the government, and they are also welcoming it.
Thank you for that. That is true as well. It's like going back to your roots, right, to the source. And so I see you. You want to add something?
Yeah.
Yes.
I would like to add something for
Yeah.
spiritual part. Yeah, religious are also doing a big role of the spiritual part, but also non-religious people also, spirituality is the think as a whole, holistic approach. The humans think human are the central of this world, this universe. We can control anything. This is not if we think in an other way around, we are the small part of this universe. We have to respect each other. We have to live together with everything. Is this atmosphere, this cosmos? That's also a big part of the spirituality. So we can everything scientifically prove. This is the Occidental way of thinking, but the spiritual way of thinking, no, some things we can feel, we can express without proving. That's also a big part of the spirituality.
Thank you. Before moving forward, like going back to the roots of spirituality, and yoga and Ayurvedic, everything it links to spirituality, which derives from India and Sri Lanka, right? So going back to the roots. I mean, Ariane, is there anything that you would like to add as well regarding what we discussed about your studies, which comes out, and as well regarding this discrimination? So.
Yeah, so I think that I found very interesting, as Mirna said before, is the fact that now I feel during the interview, I felt this necessity for the second generation to open up to the Swiss and local population, to raise awareness about their culture, their roots, their country, and I think it really is really precious, because it can allow the Swiss population, the local population, to really start to understand like Tamil, Sri Lankan culture, and if we share a ground of understanding, it's easier than to integrate. Like for the second generation, it's gonna be easier to integrate in the Swiss population, because they see that we understand their tradition, their values, their culture without judgment, and the same is like vice versa. So I feel like this, the Tamil Youth Organization in Switzerland, in Ticino, and I think also in Lausanne, in other cantons, they're really trying to start to create events that include the local population, to show them what it means to be a Sri Lanka, what are the different type of values. And I feel like as a Swiss girl that grew up here, is wonderful to understand another type of living, another set of values, and for me also I see there's not only this path, there's other people that are living here that they can teach me something new, and then I can choose, I would like to adopt this value, this type of this type of spirituality. So yeah, I think that is really precious, like the work that the second generation is doing, also with the help of the first generation.
That's true. Talking first generation, thank you for that, because they had this non-recognitions of their own qualification before when they arrived. They have been like all Sri Lankans. They studied, they have been accountant or different examples. It was not valid, right, when they arrived. Now the second generations, they have the chance to network as well, because because of the language barrier, the first generation could not network properly with other communities. Here the second generations, they are doing as well. Somehow, like I understand with your studies, there are lots of still this discrimination because of the unconscious bias in human resources. We do talk a lot about unconscious bias, but it's like it's us to educate as well, the both side, the unconscious bias, right? So I would like to kind of move forward, because we have 30 minutes now left. So future perspective regarding return to Sri Lanka, actually, because the war is over. I mean, do you believe Sri Lanka is safe welcoming for Tamils today? What do you think, Mirna?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, I would, if it's for a vacation, I would go for sure. But if you tell me, would you move to Sri Lanka to live there, I would have this fear, because I still have this fear, because I grew up with this war, and I saw the fear on the face of my parents, and I went for the first time in Sri Lanka in '97. And it was in Colombo. I couldn't go to Jaffna. It was forbidden for us, because we were foreign. We were coming to from Switzerland, and we had to have an authorization from the local authority that we can even move in the road, go in the street. So for me, I lived this, and it was really. I had I was 7 at this time. and I was very fearing of the situation, and I was with my mom only, and because we wanted to visit my grandma, my families, my relatives, and it was really a critical situation. And we came back after 1 week, and because of that, it's like graved in my heart. And even I went afterwards, like in 2003, I went there. I could saw the boat, the Sri Lankan military army, and also the other side as well. So it was kind of shock as well. So as a second generation kid, I still have this fear inside me. Even I do not show up when I go there, because I have my families there. Yes, but we are always being careful, And for me, I cannot go free in a free mind and live there. That's
So even though you did not like go through the war, like many people, many Sri Lankans here, they went through the war, they saw the death in front of them. They are afraid, I understand, but you are born here, you are as well afraid because of that. And Terral, what do you think about that? What is your opinion on that as well?
Yeah, it's a good example, Mirna, what she said. Because war or conflict, the violence, we can stop the violence. Violence is the tip of the iceberg of the conflict. The bottom part of the conflict, we have to solve. Because we can stop anyway the violence, there is no violence. It doesn't mean there is a peace. That means we have to reconcile what Mirna feel. Because now I can't give assurance, but I'm sure new government, because last year there was a government was changed. There's a good things going on. I'm biased for government. It's I have to say openly. So new government, not the other earlier there. So that is the point we have. How we can reconcile the feeling she has. That is the biggest challenge. We can, it can't do by the law. We can change the constitution easily. We can put the lot of clauses into the constitution. It doesn't mean anything if we can't understand each other, if we can't respect each other. So the way we reconcile and way we sort out the problem, we have to look at the another ways also. For example, liberal values, it says, okay, ideologies, we have to change the ideologies. Okay, ideologies in what? With the knowledge, aspirations, aims, and all that. But we have to add more. We have to add empathy. We have to add compassion to solve the problem, because it's damaged the soul. If you have something problem in a body, maybe science can interfere and make the arrangements. I have a bypass operation. Yes, doctor had done it. I think it is proper now. So, but soul is something else. So it's a long process. We have to start anyway. I am sure we have to make the environment, the young people who, I think you have not seen the war by your eyes, but Suresh has seen it. Suresh is a victim of that. So Suresh can have an assurance sometimes, okay, there's no any violence, but the fear, it doesn't go out. It's a big challenge.
It's a big challenge and bottom, right? The iceberg problem that we have to really solve out. So how I understand that, like Mirna, that you don't feel safe when you go there, there is still a military present, right, in the Tamil areas, even though the war has been over. And, that people, like they want peace. Sri Lankan, Tamils, Sinhalese, they only want peace. They don't want to see the death anymore. But still the trust is low, right? And Suresh, what would you like to add on that?
Yes, I can say, because I am a victim of discrimination and racism in my country. This is the week or month of against discrimination and racism in Switzerland today also a conference take part in Terral about the discrimination and yes. Even here in Switzerland, I think I met some Swiss people. They also have some barriers and borders. I am the Fribourgeois. I am the Bernois, like that. They say, I am the Dudinger, like that. It is also a surprise to me in Western art of life of style, but it is identity is still existing. And when you ask me how can reconciliation can happen in Sri Lanka between the two nations, because it is the 30 years of political resolution. We have tried to find a solution. It doesn't success. After 30 years of armed struggle, civil war, it's a big damage to the total country, you know. That's why in truly encourage the returnees, the Sri Lankans also. As I am living here more than 30 years, I can not easily to go there to live back. Yes, because my family and life, everything is developed here, and my children are studying, and second generation they integrated well in the society. So that is we have to start anyway for the new people, young generation, to develop the country and peace. We have to work hard, as Terral told. In these long years, many effort, governments and third countries intervention to the peace talks, it doesn't success, we know. So how can we start and find a good solution to the meaningful power devolution can be a good thing. We can also study the federalism in Switzerland for a good example to develop the peace talk, and especially to north and east. Beyond that, there must be economic reconstruction and new investment, and develop the education system, and especially to respect every people, their equal values, and without all this, there is no way to find a good solution. Also, I can say Swiss can help to reconciliation system in Sri Lanka, because during the peace talk in 2009, many countries tried to find a solution, but it was also failed. After that, no one worried about that. In this case, I can ask Swiss government also to facilitate some negotiation to find a good solution to the country.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. That's important as well, actually. I mean, how I understood by talking to you guys, going back to Sri Lanka now, even like Mirna, second generations, you know, they don't have the families anymore there. They are in UK or America, or they are like no cousins, no more families. So they don't feel when they go there. And the houses, the library, the temples.
We lost everything. We lost everything. When I am entering to Switzerland, it was a new planet for me, but I am used to live here now. My sister is in UK, and another one in Canada, and another one is in Australia. So my family is divided in many continents. So I cannot imagine to go there back, but some other countries for example, from India, they can easily to go back there. Some processes are going there. The new diaspora take effort to start some process between the countries Sri Lanka and India to send back and immigrate the people again in north and east to support that.
Yeah.
Yes, this kind of things can also happen here.
Yeah.
The new immigrant, they can maybe a chance to go there and live.
Terral, if you go back, it's true. I mean, you know, my friends, they know as well. When I go to London or when I go to Canada, for example, I stay with my cousins. And my friends, they're like, you have family all around the world? I said, unfortunately, because of the war, they are real cousins. They are really not like cousins like far, like blood related. And they live there, and it's easier for us to go there. At the same time, when you go back to Sri Lanka, you don't have the family anymore. But you, when you go back to Sri Lanka, how would you feel?
I don't have experience because 18 years I couldn't go back to Sri Lanka.
Yeah, but
Since
if you,
2000. Yeah, because my family is there. My whole family. I have a big family, 8 sisters, 1 brother, and 3rd generation also. The only thing is, earlier I felt because of my political and social aspects, I was exterior of the society. I became a traitor because I went against our own ideologies and always. For we are not, I'm talking but we have a small group of people. So we try to influence the people to find a solution through negotiations. Our main slogan was, war is not the solution. War make it worst. Now this situation is changed. A lot of people who went against me earlier, my friends, schoolmates, they said, you are against our own community. But now they also have changed. I don't like to imagine. I would like to experience it, go back and experience how it would be.
yeah, that's true. I mean,
But I would say,
yeah.
I don't have a feeling like Suresh and him because I was also discriminated before the states tried to catch me. Yeah. 3 of my colleagues were arrested and tortured brutally and all that. I didn't have this experience. Before that, I could fled the country. Earlier, I had that type of feeling, but now it's because of the changes. So it's feel in another way, but I have to go and experience it.
And as you are Sinhalese, you had discriminated from the own Sinhalese, from the own community. So it's not somehow Tamils and Sinhalese, right? It's different.
Yeah, war is not a tea party. It's a war.
Different part. Yeah.
If war is the 2 parties, they says we are correct. Yeah. There is no any other voices. So if someone raised another different voice, definitely it was discriminated.
No. Yeah, true. And we don't want to. It's somehow go into politics. So my goal is like, let's say my friends or many people, they would ask, now the war is over, right? Would you go back? So therefore, somehow we touch the political part. So Suresh, I see that you would like to add something.
Because as Terral told, maybe he has an opportunity to go back easily to Sri Lanka. My cage is all damaged. I cannot go there. That is the main problem. And otherwise, it's a good thing how we integrate with Terral here. After 11 years, more than 11 years he is living. And suddenly I met him. Yes. How we integrate between us as a Sinhalese and Tamil, I can say it's a good thing from Terral. He told me, okay, when we can work together, how we can start the work. He say about Tamil rights, you have to decide what is the solution can be done in Sri Lanka for the Tamil people. You are the person. You, not only I, but the Tamils. Tamils have to say what they need. So I think it is a good mind setup from him. I receive, okay, I thought this is the good point to start to work together. That's why we also organize a meeting in 22nd of December, cultural get together in
Between
Fribourg.
Sinhalese and Tamils
Sinhalese
together.
and
That's a
Tamils
good point.
and Muslims.
Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah. The Sri Lankans,
yes,
right?
yes,
Yeah.
Sri Lankan communities.
I mean, if we have this open mindset, right? Now the war is over. If we could kind of, even Tamil people opening the mind that, because it has been the war between Sinhalese and Tamil, that we can't talk to each other. I mean, still in there are many countries, both of them are living together, but they don't really collaborate together. Here in Fribourg, it started already, this collaboration between Sinhalese and Tamil in order to, the discussions, the negotiations.
I can say it is not a war or something between the Sinhalese and Tamils that is developed by the some political things. Yes, and the people, we were all together there also. So
Yeah, both parties have a stories to tell.
Yeah.
Both parties has damaged. The Tamils are more. I really accept it, but we have a baggage. Both parties have a baggage of their sufferings, feelings, and all that. We can't dig a hole and put it and close it, because it's with our soul, with our mind. But if we keep in front of our foot, we can't go forward.
Yeah.
We have to keep it beside. It doesn't mean we have to forget it.
It's not
We have to find a solution. We have to find a reconciliation. But before that, we have to find a way how we can reconcile. It doesn't mean it doesn't come from the sky. The theory is okay. We can say this theory, Galton's theory, or etc. etc. We can apply it, but we have to find our own solution. As Suresh said, what is the bottom line of our combination? We met 2 years ago. The bottom line is humanity. As a human beings, we have our own identities, different identities. How we can live together with respect each other, keep the dignity and keep the difference, and stay together. So then the oppressed people have a right to say what we need. Then majority people should listen to them. After the good dialogue, it's take time. It's take time, but we have to start from somewhere.
Yeah, and we are starting here, right? As
Of course.
well. I mean, it's a simplest example, actually. You know, this Swiss model. It's not simplest at the same time. It's great, right? We have this great example of Switzerland. So if we could provide, or Terral or Suresh, like others, like a possible solution, like the Swiss model, if Sri Lanka wants, if you want lasting peace and inclusion, there is a possible solutions like. You know, there are different languages and communities live together. If they can live together peacefully through, like you said, power sharing, you know, the Tamil community should have the greater say in local government still, because there is not at the moment. It's still the case. Decent relations, like you said, respect for diversity. In Sri Lanka, we should have that in the future as well. And in Switzerland, each region has autonomy. The people, they can vote, and they have the minorities. They are respected in Switzerland, because you have to say Swiss Romand, the Swiss French part. It's like Tamils, and Swiss German part. It's like Sinhalese, right? There is a minority and majority and minorities. But if we have these equal rights for all ethnics, give equal opportunity, especially on educations, because started with that actually, with the educations and the job, then there is like we will be like I have the feeling we, because I say Tamils, but I'll be talking to you as well, like we won't be like a second-class citizens, right? Because when we were discussing and about preparations, there was like, people keep telling me, I feel still the war is over, but when I go back to Tamil, I still feel a second-class citizens. I still feel foreigner, right? I just want to, conscious of time, there is not too much. So is there, we can move to the question and answers just quickly. But I just want to give this chance to Arianna about your, about your studies as well. If you could add something on it, like a brief summary of your key findings of your research.
Okay. I think it's a little bit too early right now to talk about results because I still need to interview a lot of people. But first of all, I think that this gave me the opportunity to see how different life experience has been are present here in Switzerland, and first of all, I think this is a good research that make people feel seen. Like when I talk with people during the interview, at the end they tell me it's maybe the first time I feel heard, I feel seen, I feel my story has been heard from someone. So I feel like it's really important to give this space of expression of the Sri Lankan community here in Switzerland. And they also told me that they hope that maybe in the future they can use this research, like other research, as a tool to pass down their history to the next generations. So I cannot talk about results, but I feel really thankful to being able to talk with these people, because every interview is like a gift they give me and they give to the Swiss population to step in their reality, in their stories.
So Arianna is still continuing the interview. So if someone would like to be interviewed by Arianna, especially Sri Lankan communities, please go to Arianna, and we are looking forward for your research, actually, the summary. But today's conversation is reminded us the complexity, as you can see, of complexity of migration, the identity, and the integration. Whether you can be born in Sri Lanka or, like you, here in Switzerland, each journey, like you said, Arianna, carries strength, resilience, and hope, the hope we are looking for. We heard some personal stories, academic insight here, and community reflections, and that shows progress and challenges still, especially when it comes to identity and professional inclusion and belongingness, actually. This roundtable, again, it's like about people. It's not about politics. It's still about really people. It's so important, like you said, the listening to each other, the discussions, understanding, and especially the building the bridge between the two communities. And I hope that we tried to plant some few seeds here with empathy, with curiosity for the future collaboration here in Fribourg, and I hope that will happen as well in Sri Lanka. And I would like to thank FIFF for giving us this platform, and the panelists to openly share your courage and your presence, share your thoughts. I would like to kind of provide you we still have time, some questions before thanking all of you. So, question and answers. Yes, sir.
வணக்கம். நான் தமிழில் பேசுகிறத நீங்கள் ஆங்கிலத்தில் ட்ரான்ஸ்லேஷன் பண்ணுங்க.
ஓகே.
இங்கே வந்துட்டுருக்கிற எல்லாருக்கும் ஃப்ரைபர்க் வாழ் தமிழ் மக்கள் சார்பாக நன்றியை தெரிவித்துக் கொள்கின்றேன்.
Alors, il se remercie. En fait, sorry, I tell in English, then they will translate you in French. So, thanking you to everyone to being here. Yes.
நான் என்னை பற்றி ஒரு சிறிய அறிமுகத்தை செய்து கொள்கின்றேன். என்னுடைய தந்தையார் ஒரு பொருளியல் பேராசிரியர், என்னுடைய தாயார் ஒரு ஃபிசிக்ஸ் ஆசிரியர்.
Yeah, I would like to introduce, about myself, but I think it's better to ask your questions quickly because we only have 5 minutes.
அது
Yeah.
முக்கியம் இருக்குது அதான்
So
சொல்கிறேன்.
you,
அது
okay.
நீங்கள் அதாவது எங்களோட தந்தையார் இந்திய அரசாங்கத்துக்கு ஆதரவாக அந்த இது நிலப்பாட்டில் இருந்த போதும் அந்த சண்டையில் முதலாளாக இறந்தது என்னுடைய தந்தையார்.
So his father was supporting, linked with the Indian government, and he's the first person to be dead, right?
Not
Yeah.
welcome to India. So he started to dead first person in
Okay.
in Sri Lanka.
Yeah, he was the first person passed away.
இங்கே இருக்கிற எல்லாரும் வந்து மரினா நான் போய் பிறந்தபோது நான் முதல் தரமாக நான் ஆஸ்பத்திரியில் போய் பார்த்தேன். அதே மாதிரி டெரரோடு நான் இன்றைக்கி நேற்றும் அவரோட பேசியிருந்தேன்.
Yeah.
டெரர் வந்து நல்ல மனிதன். என்ன சொன்னால் இந்த சண்டையில் நான் முதல் தரமாக பேசும்போது சொன்னார் வந்து நாங்கள் மைனாரிட்டி பீப்புள் கீழே விழுந்திருக்கிறோம், எங்களை தூக்குறதுக்கு ஆக்கள் இல்லை என்ற. அப்போ அவர் சொன்னார் வந்து ஒரு சொல்லு நல்ல மனதில் தாக்கத்தை ஏற்படுத்தியது.
So he
பெரும்பான்மை
would like
மக்கள்
to say that you saw Mirna when you arrived ages ago in Switzerland, that Mirna in the hospital when she was born in 1989. And like Terral said, that when you met Terral, that you guys, you are minority, you have fallen so deep down, and how we can support or how we can.
நான் கீழே விழுந்திருக்கே கார் எங்களுக்கு கைதந்து தூக்குறேன்ட யூரோப்பியன் பீப்புளாண்டா இல்லை முதல் சொன்ன வாக்கியம் சிங்கள மக்கள்லாம் மைனாரிட்டியாக இருக்கணும், அவையில் தான் உங்களுக்கு கையை தந்து கூப்பிடணும், கையை தந்து தூக்கணும்னு ஒரு சொல்லி சொன்னார்.
Terral said that it's not when you have fallen as a Tamil community from top to so bottom down, it's not Swiss community will support you. He said it's the Sinhalese. They are the one, they have supported as well. And he said that they should be supporting you as well.
தேங்க்யூ. அது மாதிரி இந்த இடத்துல நான் ஒரு டாக்ஸி டிரைவராக இங்கே இருக்கிறேன். 20 வருஷமாக டாக்ஸி டிரைவராக வேலை செய்கிறேன். இங்கே பானஃபில் லகாரில் வேலை செய்கிறேன். இன்றைக்கி இங்கே இருக்கிற பிரசிடென்ட் ஜோசப் டயஸ்லேருந்து எல்லோரும் வந்து டாக்ஸி டிரைவரோட சாதாரணமாக பேசுகிற ஒரு நாட்டில் இருக்கிறத நான் மகிழ்ச்சி அடைகிறேன்.
So he's happy to being in Switzerland because for 20 years he's a taxi driver in Fribourg. You might see him. And he said even like Joseph dies or even like with people, they are taking the taxi and speaking in the same level. It's not giving to all countries, especially in Switzerland, that there is no levels, like people, they can speak to each other.
இன்றைக்கி சிங்கள மக்களும் தமிழ் மக்களும் சுவிஸ் மக்களுக்கும் ஒன்றாக இருந்து பேசுகிறத இதை பார்க்கும்போது எனக்கு மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்கிறது. அதே போல் அந்த இதை ஏற்பாடு செய்த சுரேஷுக்கு நன்றி. அதே நேரத்தில் இவருடைய மகனும் என்னுடைய மகள் பக்கத்தில் இருக்கிற மகளும் சென்குருவா அந்த காலேஜில் தான் படிக்கணும். அடிக்கடி நான் சொல்கிறேன், இந்த 2 பிள்ளைகளுமே ஒன்றா இருந்து எங்களோட ஸ்ரீலங்கா பிரச்சனையை பற்றி ஒரு காலத்தில் பேசி நல்ல ஒரு சொல்யூஷன் எடுப்பணும்னு நான் நினைக்கிறேன்.
Okay, so Terral's son and your daughters, they're all studying together in St. Croix College. So, like Sinhalese and Tamil. So he always say that this third or second generation, let the students, the younger generations between Sinhalese and Tamil, they will kind of make it better for the future.
சுவிட்சர்லாந்தில் போல தமிழ் மக்களுக்கும் சிங்கள மக்களுக்கும் குறைஞ்சபட்சம் சுவிஸ் இந்த ஃபெடரேஷன் சிஸ்டம் ஆவது எங்களோட நாட்டுக்கு கிடைச்சால் அது பெரிய மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்கும்.
So he's hoping the lead like Swiss federation system, if we could have like in Switzerland what we have this within minority and majority, if we could have the same system in Sri Lanka, he would be extremely happy.
இன்றைக்கு எல்லாரையும் சந்திக்கிறத மகிழ்ச்சி. பான்மதி இந்த கேண்டோனின் ஃபர்ஸ்ட் டான்சர். அங்கே இருக்கிற அவரோட சிஸ்டர் வந்து ஒரு ஃபர்ஸ்ட் சிங்கர் இங்கே. அதனால வந்து உங்களை எல்லாரையும் சந்திச்சு பார்க்குறதுல மகிழ்ச்சியாக இருக்குது.
He's happy. He wanted to thank as well. He said during the conversation, thanks Suresh for organizing and as well for Terral and as well. So I was the first dancer when I arrived in 92, Bharatanatyam dance, and my sister was the first singer. So we still keep our roots, right? And thank you to you. Thank you for your comments. Any other questions? Yes, Irenka.
Thank you so much to all of you for your emotions, also all your testimonials and your moderation, Mathy, because you came from the history at the beginning and you went to the future in a very, very deep way. And myself being also half Swiss and half another country, I just admire the way you just express yourself. My question is a very specific one. I had the chance to see this movie, Little Jaffna, which showed the community of Sinhalese and Tamil people in Paris. And that movie, if you can see it here at this festival, shows a form of violence, which is very deep, even in the years 2010. My question to you about this perception of Switzerland, this federation, all the democratical side, do you think it was a bit different here in Switzerland, being in your own communities, compared to other European communities? Especially because you mentioned so much how homogeneous you were, how close you were to each other. And that was also what we could feel in the 90s, when I was looking at Bern, all the communities of Tamils in Burns, which always gave us this impression. Do you think there were differences? And that could perhaps also help you in developing for the future what you say about reconciling also the different parties that you've got.
So it's a question for you guys. Do you think there's differences between these communities?
If you see the movie, if you look at the movie Little
Sorry,
Jaffna,
I didn't watch it until today.
you didn't see that movie?
No.
So you have to see it.
Okay.
It shows really the whole violence during the years, and it's very shocking in a certain way. And my question was to you, just if you have the impression it was different in those European contexts.
That's a problem. I haven't seen that movie yet. We have seen yesterday. Sorry, but again, thank you to FIFF. We have seen so many movies. And
Your
there are many
question
good-
is
yeah.
you're asking in Switzerland context?
No. Because in that movie, you see really the violence, which lasts very long, until the year 2010, 2009, until the end of the Civil War. And that was, for me, a bit surprising. And I was never having that into the feeling in Switzerland about your communities. So I was asking myself if there were some differences between here, being as, migrants here, compared to other places.
But according to my knowledge, there's
Yeah.
no any violence or even a hate debate also between Sinhalese and Tamils in here.
That's the point.
Yes.
But in France, it was different. You can
Yes,
see that in the
because of
movie.
the environment and it's also could be helped to develop that. It doesn't mean there's a peace, but there's no hate speech or violence against each other. So there are today also when one of my friends Sinhalese came and another Tamil person, he said, "Oh, we work together since long time." So they work together. They don't have a conflict in here. It doesn't mean peace, but there's no conflict. We live together, not live together. We stay together. There's no any conflict or anything. But since a couple of years, it's developed more to attract each other, contact each other. It's developed little by little in here.
I just wanted to say, because of the conscious of time and there is a next event coming up, I just have to finish and thank you to all because we went over the time. Regarding the movie, but Valentina, we can't at the moment. So
Yes.
regarding the movie, I just have to say that we will go and watch the movie. There are many other movies, Sri Lankan, Sinhalese and Tamils. Please go and watch them. And then, we could debate on that as well. I don't see Valentina, I know. Sorry, if you want to, thank you. I know that we are out of time. Yeah.
There was a question.
Really sorry, it's not, I cannot. I mean, I think it's very, very interesting and I would like to continue, but I hope this is a start. So please take your time to, I don't know, have a coffee later and continue the discussion. Unfortunately, I mean, there is a lot of people working, so we cannot go later. So thank you so much, but it was really a pleasure to have you here.
Thank
tonight.
you. Thank you to all. But we are still here, so afterwards you could ask the questions.